Ladies and gentlemen, a video brought to you by Answood, and today is a little update on my Solenopsis Geminata. This is going to be a short update on my last video of my Solenopsis. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link in the top right corner now. And if you remember rightly, I tried to attach this Wakushi MS5 3.5 even, but at the end of the video, they didn't want to move at all. And you guys know I don't generally force moves out of test tubes or old nests into new ones. I want the conditions to be right and let them move their own accord. But if you look at this, you'll see they had burrowed their way through the cotton wool and they'd got into the water reservoir and started to drown themselves. So I had to force the move using light. And to tell you the truth, once I put light to it, they didn't take long to move. Now they're in the Wakushi nest, you can see how much brood they got, and I didn't realise how much they had in the test tube, but now it's just spread out and they've got the space to expand into Wakushi nest. Wowzer. Absolutely wowzer. There is tons and tons of brood, and I've put two small cockroaches, medium cockroaches in there this week alone, and they've absolutely devoured them. They're just finishing off the last one now, but there's a major there. Woo-woo. Anyway, so you can see how spread out the brood is. They've got tons and tons of it. Worker size, I don't know, it's difficult to judge because they're so small, but I'm touching 500 at least, I reckon. If you guys got a better estimate, by all means, please let me know. But they're probably at least a third of the nest is now covered in brood alone, never mind workers. Now you guys know as well as I do, matey, that I absolutely suck at disconnecting test tubes and stuff and tubing because I generally swarm me, and these girls like to sting. But I can safely say it weren't too bad this time. But like I said, they obviously got dead in the reservoir, so I need to disconnect that. And to tell you the truth, it was relatively painless. There weren't much activity in it, so I just disconnected it, used the cotton wool to block off both ends, as you can see here. And I think I'd get my pokey just to make sure it stays in the end of that tube. Now if you look at that tube, I've hot glued it in, and all I'm going to do to block it off is keep this cotton wool in there. But I will need to keep an eye on it because these guys are escape artists, and if you give them any opportunity, they'll be all over it and get out. Now this is a bit of a top tip for anyone if you're moving a test tube really. Lucky enough for me, there was no brood to worry about, it was just workers. So all I did was tap out as many as I could. But the problem with that though is because the test tube cotton wool was the word I was looking for, had a hole in it, water was coming out with it as well. So I had to get a cotton wool bud like this just to get it out. I don't know what you Americans call them, Q-tips I think, weirdos. Anyway, so tap them all out and get them out that way. Now if you notice, the tubing has been hot glued in, but I did manage, as you'll see me do now, pull it out, which makes my life a lot easier because I hot glued it in to stop them escaping, but it wasn't too difficult. But look at that excess water that came out. So get as many of the workers, because I'm obviously zombies, get the workers out as many as you can, and then I've got the cotton wool and very gingerly pulled it out, but have to be careful. As you can see, there's still workers all over that test tube. Now the ones in there are practically dead. So all I've done is got a Q-tip, as you can see me here. I haven't said American word now, cotton bud, and here, and then just tapped them into the outworld. And how many times did they get stung? None, which is a first for me because these guys haven't stung me yet, but when they do, I'm sure it's going to hurt. In that video I showed like a couple of minutes ago, that was literally 4 days ago, and I've just checked on them now and I'm shocked already with the brood that I've got. Now this is the top chamber that was relatively empty 4 days ago, and literally 4 days ago, and now look at it. This is the issue with Solenopsis. This is why they're so difficult to keep, because 4 days they've covered like now from a third to half the nest in brood. And if you look at this big pile here, it is literally come up to the glass, and that's got to be what, 1.5 centimetres thick. That's how much brood they've got piled up. And this is the issue with beginners for these guys. They grow so quickly, and they're not just like Lagus nigers, for example, where if they escape it's no dramas. Here these guys sting, and they're really aggressive, and they will rage at other colonies, and due to their sheer numbers and the power of their sting, they'll kill the colony they're attacking. They're ferocious, scary. And if you look here, I've actually got majors. You'll see them in the bottom. There you go. There's a major. Look how big he is compared to the workers. And there's the queen's comparison as well. But guys, do not get these unless you're ready. Literally, I've connected this nest up a week and they've already half filled it. So I really need to think about what I'm going to do going forward. So I'm definitely going to get on the blower to Wakushi and send an SOS. I need a 5.5 ASAP because I have not got a backup nest for these guys. Yes, in my first video I said, make sure you have a backup nest. I've just connected this up. I didn't realise I'd fill it so quickly, but I reckon I've got at least another 2 weeks left in here until they have to move out again. Maybe more if I'm lucky. But if this rate continues, it's going to be a struggle to cope with, guys. And bear that in mind if you're looking at getting these. They grow incredibly fast. Now, I made a schoolboy error. I forgot to put water in this because the test tube was still connected. When I disconnected, I didn't put water in it. And you can see how they've swarmed the water feeder. They're crazy for it and they really needed it. So I just caught it in the nick of time. So it was very safe from me. But that video of the nest was taken while all these workers are in here. So you can see why I think I've got around 500 workers. There is a lot. But if you notice in the bottom feeder here, they've put all that yellow stuff around. And all that yellow stuff is half digested carrot that the cockroach was eating before it got killed and put in the outworld for them. And they clearly don't like it. But for why they've put it around the honey water, I don't know, because that will cause it to leak. Hasn't leaked yet, but they're donuts and annoying. But on a plus side, it's easy to clean up when I just take out the feeder. And if you want some of these feeders, they are my own. They're designed for small species. I've got a larger species design, but these are designed so small species can't get into the bottle when it's empty. If you're interested, just drop me a line. They're about £13.50 if you do it directly through me. Anyway, and you get 6. But I'll stop talking rubbish. Now, you guys know the plan going forward for these guys in the nest, but Outworld is getting too small as well, so I'm looking at moving to this. Now, you can clearly see that it's being used by my Fidoli Noda, and I've got plans for these to get an even bigger Outworld for them. So that's going forward in their video. But once I've got them out of this, I'm going to clean it up and attach it to the fire ants and see how they get on with this. But I don't think it's going to be on to any bigger one as well. Between me and you, and don't tell the missus, my plan is to have different outworlds and stuff so they can travel around the room and have different tubes so I can watch them and stuff, because these guys are crazy. That would be really cool. Just don't tell the wife because she will not be happy. Even in tubing, she doesn't like them everywhere anyway. She's going to hate it. But I'm going to love it. It didn't really turn out to be a quick video like it was intended to, but never mind. If you want to check out the Solenopsis playlist, it's in the corner, top right corner now. But thank you to these guys for supporting my Patreon. If you want to do it, I'll put a link in the description below. But anyway, I need to shut up. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.